morning. He has been regularly updated aboard Air Force One. And at this point, all my reporting is that there was no U.S. role in the specific attack that killed Sinwar Wednesday. But for more than a year now, U.S. intelligence and Joint Special Operations Command have been side by side, hand in glove with the Israelis, trying to help them through intelligence sharing hunt down the leaders of Hamas, including Yahya Sinwar. The top echelon of leadership has now been killed. Sinwar was the mastermind responsible for that surprise attack October 7th, an insurgent attack against one of the most sophisticated military forces in the world. It killed 1,200 Israelis. His stated intent was to help Palestinians to shake off through force Israeli rule. But his actions also led to a war between Hamas and Israel that has so far killed 42,000 of his fellow Palestinians, according to the Gaza Ministry of Health. The majority of them, Major, women and children. So this death is potentially a game changer for the conflict, but there are a lot of unknowns. Rami mentioned some of them. What happens to the roughly 100 remaining hostages Hamas took last year? 4 of them, U.S. citizens. Another wild card. Who steps in to take over Hamas? Will they be more willing to negotiate a deal with Israel? How does this play out, by the way, in Tehran? Remember, this conflict has spread through the region over the past year, and we have been on standby waiting for an expected Israeli retaliatory attack on Iran because of other assassinations the Israelis carried out against Hezbollah leaders, another militia, that one based in Lebanon. In Gaza, Sinwar, 62 years old, Major, he spent nearly 2 decades in Israeli custody because of his role in murdering Israelis and Palestinians. He was freed by then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu back in 2011 from prison as part of a hostage deal. There is some historic irony here that we will shortly hear from the Israeli Prime Minister once again, Benjamin Netanyahu, that Yahya Sinwar, the man responsible for killing the most number of Jews since the Holocaust during the reign of Prime Minister Netanyahu, is now confirmed to be dead at the hands of Israel Defense Forces.
Margaret, I want to talk to you about what we can see on screen now, which are protests for those supporting the return of the remaining hostages to Israel. This is spontaneous reaction within Israel to the announced death of Yahya Sinwar. And as you mentioned, 90 or so hostages believed to still be alive. Do you believe, and do you have any source information this hour that suggests the death of Sinwar might in any way, since he was the principal interlocutor with not only Israel, but Egypt, the United States, and others involved in these ongoing negotiations, that there might be a better prospect of winning the return of those hostages in the aftermath of his death?
Major, I put that question earlier today to a number of U.S. officials who say a lot depends on the choices being made in the coming days by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I spoke to some Israeli sources as well who do see this as a moment of potential opportunity. The Prime Minister could look at this and say that Israel has taken out the top echelon of Hamas leadership. They could use that to declare victory and to wind down the conflict in Gaza. Do they do that in a way that unlocks a deal with Hamas for the release of hostages? That's the broader question. And for the families of those, like the protesters that you see out there in the street, their number one priority is bringing home those being held against their will who have been there for more than a year now.
Margaret Brennan, thank you very much. I want to bring in CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata, who joins us from the Pentagon. There have been enormous, or certainly significant, measurable deployments of U.S. military personnel in the last year after the October 7th attack. Charlie, what are you hearing there at the Pentagon?
Yeah, well, Major, just like everybody else, we've been waiting all day. We heard the news this morning. We've been trying to scramble for confirmation. This will potentially impact U.S. forces in the area. There are 40,000 U.S. forces there. There's a carrier strike group in the region, several destroyers. Development just this week, there's been a battery, a THAAD battery, a missile battery, which is to help out Israeli air defenses. That's the first time we've seen U.S. troops in a so-called combat role inside Israel itself, manning that missile battery. So the United States is already forward postured. And connected to this, because all roads lead back to Iran, overnight, the defense secretary announced a strike against Houthi targets in Yemen. That is fairly routine. What isn't routine was the use of B-2 stealth bombers, long range, able to carry heavy ordnance. And in his words, it's a unique demonstration to target facilities that our adversaries want to keep underground, no matter how deeply buried underground, hardened, or fortified, and hit 5 underground targets. So that's not just a message to the Houthis saying, we can reach you, we've got the reach, and we've got the weapons to do it, but also a side message to Iran. So they are already forward postured. Certainly there'll be a raise of the alert because of what has happened, this very significant killing of Sinwar and the repercussions that that's going to have. But they were already ready. Again, as Margaret had said, what we're waiting for here is Israel's retaliation for Iran's bombardment on October 1st. That would come first, and then we wait to see what Iran does to reply.
The world awaits. Charlie D'Agata at the Pentagon, thank you very much. To summarize our breaking news from the Middle East, Israel's foreign minister says Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar is dead, killed during an Israeli military operation in southern Gaza. Our coverage, of this breaking news will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight, of course, on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Good day.
Good afternoon, I'm Josh Breiter. You've been watching a CBS special report. Israel confirming that the leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, is dead after a military operation. Sinwar was a chief architect in last year's October 7th attack on Israel that sparked the current war going on in Gaza. We'll have more information on these breaking events later on News 3 Now and channel3000.com. Some of the headlines we're following today at noon in 3 for the People coverage. Vice President Kamala Harris is campaigning across Wisconsin today. Harris is making 3 stops in the state, first in Milwaukee, then in La Crosse, and finally in Green Bay. In Milwaukee, Harris is expected to talk about her plan to build an opportunity economy that supports entrepreneurship and small business growth. She'll then talk to students in La Crosse before holding a rally near Lambeau Field. We're also learning that Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban will be campaigning with Harris in Milwaukee and La Crosse. The Trump campaign releasing a statement to us in part on Harris's visit to Wisconsin. It says Wisconsin will prove itself to be Trump country when it votes for a return to the peace, prosperity, and stability of the first Trump presidency in November, end quote. Right now, polls show a very close race 19 days before Election Day. Both major party candidates are trying to appeal to voters beyond their base. Vice President Harris reaching out to Republicans, appearing in Pennsylvania Wednesday alongside more than 100 members of the GOP. Meanwhile, former President Trump is also looking beyond his base. He fielded questions from undecided Latino voters during a Univision town hall. Tonight, the former president will appear at the Al Smith dinner in New York City, benefiting Catholic charities. It's a tradition for presidential candidates to attend, but Harris is skipping it. Her campaign says she's opting to spend more time campaigning in battleground states. It is not just the presidential candidates campaigning around Wisconsin. The candidates for U.S. Senate are also touring the state. Incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin and challenger Eric Hovde made stops throughout the state Wednesday. Baldwin visited a ginseng farm in Wausau. She spoke about trade and tariffs and how they affect American workers. Hovde took part in a healthcare roundtable in Madison, where current Senators John Barrasso and John Kennedy also participated. The discussion focused on the cost of prescription drugs. Tomorrow, the Senate candidates will face off in the first and only debate between the two. We will air the debate on Television Wisconsin, which is digital channel 3.2. You can also watch the live stream on channel3000.com. That debate begins at 7 tomorrow night and is expected to last an hour. Prior to the debate, our political reporter Will Keneally will host a build-up show. That starts at 6:30 on TW and channel3000.com. He'll also host a post-debate show available exclusively online. Well, still ahead for us this afternoon, the Federal Trade Commission issues a rule to make canceling a subscription easier. Plus, Disney theme parks unveiling a new pass to make getting to the front of the line easier. The hefty price consumers will have to pay.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years? There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
We know we cannot have a strong middle class without American manufacturing. Under Donald Trump, America lost nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs. His record is a disaster for working people. Under my plan, we will invest in the industries that built America, because ours is a fight for the future. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
A new study from finance firm LendingTree found that a third of common household products have shrunk in size, a practice known as shrinkflation. The analysis showed that household paper products had the highest rate of shrinkflation, followed by breakfast foods such as dry cereals, and then candy and snack foods. In its most recent earnings call, food and beverage giant PepsiCo says it plans to add 20% more product to its chip brands, including Tostitos and Ruffles. The Federal Trade Commission has issued what it calls the click-to-cancel rule, which requires businesses to make it as easy to cancel a subscription as it is to sign up. Companies will also have to get consent for auto-renewal plans and free trials that automatically become paid memberships. The rule won't take effect until 180 days after it's published in the Federal Registry. And Disney theme parks in California and Florida have unveiled a new, pricier pass to make skipping the line easier, but for a hefty fee. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass will let people skip the line for dozens of popular rides and attractions without booking ahead. The pass launches next week with prices ranging from $129 to $449, plus the cost of the ticket. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow up 182 points, NASDAQ up 110, and the S&P 500 up today 20. Pam is watching today's egg prices straight ahead, and Kelly is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4. Fall may be a bright spot for you, but some people might be sad about losing daylight. Dr. Zorba Pastor reports on seasonal affective disorder.
Get an 11% rebate on your staining project at Menards. Varathane's proven formula is sure to amaze and is ideal for all interior wood projects from floors to furniture. Get a quart of premium fast dry wood stain for $10.94 after rebate. Add a smooth and durable finish with Varathane triple thick polyurethane. It allows you to complete your wood project with only one coat. Now only $17.79 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
My name is Norma. I'm a two-time Trump voter. I will not be voting for Trump this time around. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I cannot support Trump again because I don't trust him. I feel he's a liar. I feel he's for himself. I feel like he's going to take our country down a really evil, dark path. I want to be on the right side of history, and voting for Trump would be on the wrong side of history.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Happy anniversary! Join us for our anniversary sale.
And help us celebrate. We're having our biggest sale of the year with savings throughout the showroom.
Where you can save big.
And you can save big.
You can save big. You can save big.
On quality home furnishings throughout the showroom.
Join us for our anniversary sale.
Wanakee Furniture ETC. Bringing quality homes since 1996.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Welcome back at noon. Let's check in now. Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, we're talking a little bit about some of the numbers that World Dairy Expo has officially released for 2024's show. I personally felt like I was missing some of my local farmers, but with the beautiful weather we had, you can understand why they stayed home to keep the harvest going instead of coming into town necessarily to look at the beautiful bovines. That doesn't mean there wasn't a fantastic show, though. Officially, World Dairy Expo said they had north of 55,000 in attendance. Very robust international guests this year with more than 96 countries that were represented. And what you don't think about is those international guests don't just come to Madison, visit the show, and go home in a lot of instances. Just yesterday, a group of Italian dairy farmers who started their visit to the United States at World Dairy Expo were at Stotts Brothers Farm out in Sun Prairie yesterday, taking a look at the dairy technology that they're using there. Very impressed with what Wisconsin dairy farms are doing. Very, very impressed, those Italians, and glad to see them. You know, the other thing that we noticed is that people are very much active on social media, sharing the word of World Dairy Expo around the world, and the food facts made me giggle. They sold almost 20,000 grilled cheese sandwiches, almost 8,000 chocolate malts, and almost 12,000 ice cream dishes. Speaking of ice cream, let's talk dairy. Barrel cheese today in Chicago up 8 cents. Nice rally there, 201. 40-pound block cheese down 1 3/4 pennies at 192.5, while AA butter gained 4.5, 268 a pound. Could be fun in the next few days, Josh. I talked to a broker this morning and said now that the Thanksgiving holiday purchases are done, they're going to start purchasing for Christmas, football, Super Bowl. So dairy could get to be a pretty fun spot to report on over the next couple of weeks.
It's crazy to think, too. I mean, we're already over halfway through October. I mean, the holidays are right around the corner. I don't know where this year went.
They got Christmas decorations up already, and I haven't bought my Halloween candy yet.
Yeah, I saw eggnog at the grocery store yesterday. It's a little early, although I do love Christmas. So
I like eggnog.
There you go. All right, Pam. Well, you have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast. First, storm meteorologist Kelly Slifka is out on the weather patio, and we're kind of going the opposite direction. We're warming up the rest of the week.
Yeah,
Kelly.
let's hang on with Christmas. We've got some nice weather in the forecast the next several days. And this morning we did actually get some frost and freezing conditions, but I think we're done with that for the next week. We do need rain. This actually came out this morning. You can see we do have some areas right along the Illinois border from about Janesville, Monroe, Darlington over to Platteville. A severe drought now. That's a difference from what we had last week. Now, the other areas, we do have the moderate drought. That's been expanding. Some areas not quite as bad, that abnormally dry condition in northwestern Dane County, then up into Columbia and parts of Dodge County as well. All right, so we do need rain. Not a lot of rain in our forecast. I think the better chance will probably come in Tuesday. Nothing widespread, but that looks to be our next opportunity as a cold front arrives. Well, we're going to be warming up. Today, we're expecting low to mid-60s across the area, and it won't be quite as cool tonight because we will have a southerly wind, and then eventually that southerly wind's going to push our temperatures well into the 70s this weekend. Little to no rain going into early next week, and behind that cold front on Tuesday, we will start to feel a little bit more like it should, back into some autumn-like temperatures. But in the meantime, all that cold air pretty much locked up into Canada. We'll see this ridge of high pressure really dominate much of the Ohio Valley, so not only bringing us warm weather, but also bringing us dry weather. That air is sinking and drying out underneath this area of high pressure, and that'll keep us quiet and acting like a roadblock. Storm track well up to the north into Canada. That's where all the cold air is going to be. There will be a weak disturbance that arrives by Tuesday that may produce a shower or two. But take a look at these temperatures going into the weekend, well into the 70s into early next week. Cold front does drop us down in the 60s, but that's still above average, as our average high now is in the 50s this time of the year. So we'll look at quite a bit of sunshine today. It will be breezy as we climb into low to mid 60s area-wide. Another sunny sky, clear skies tonight. Won't cool off quite as quickly because there will be that southerly wind, but you will need that jacket. At least we won't see that frost and freeze tomorrow morning, starting out near 40, then even warmer as we climb in the upper 60s and even low 70s for some, especially southwestern Wisconsin. Now, we do have this wind. It's out of the southwest. That'll be remaining about 5 to 15 miles per hour yet this evening, coming down closer to 10 miles per hour overnight. By tomorrow afternoon, that wind will pick up out of the south, and that's what's going to bring us even warmer temperatures. Right now, 59 in Madison, 63 in Janesville. Right now, Boscobel at 63. Across Dane County, 58 right now in Waunakee and also Sun Prairie, and 58 currently in Oregon. First warm forecast keeps it quiet, keeps it sunny, and we'll be warming up into the weekend in the low to mid 70s. Really no chance of rain until we get about Tuesday as that weak system moves in. It might be a little bit dry to squeeze out a whole lot of rain, but that's our next opportunity of rain with that cold front, dropping our temperatures a little bit into the lower to mid 60s late next week.
Well, it looks like we're timing the weekend out pretty nicely there, Kelly.
Yeah, we're kind of hanging out. We've been lucking out with some of these weekends, and this weekend no exception.
I love it. Thank you. Well, today Howard has an easy-to-make lasagna recipe in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I don't know about you, but I love lasagna. There's something about the combo of the curly-edged noodles, the ricotta cheese, and the cooked sausage that just makes me smile. The problem is, I don't always have time to make it. So rather than layering all those ingredients, we came up with an all-in-one skillet version that's super easy and it's to die for. Let me show you. We start by cooking our lasagna noodles just like normal, except instead of leaving them whole, we break them up into large pieces. Once they're tender, we drain them. While they drain, we cook up a good amount of Italian sausage that we remove from its casing. To that, we add our drained noodles, along with a jar of spaghetti sauce, some ricotta cheese, shredded mozzarella, and a bit of Parmesan, and of course, a few spices. All we need to do now is give it a good stir, and once everything is heated through, it's done. There you have it. Everything you love about lasagna without all the work of layering it. Serve it with a salad and some crusty Italian bread for extra yumminess. If you want the recipe for our quick lasagna toss, all you need to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tasty shortcut way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
When we come back at noon, we'll meet our Pets of the Week from the Dane County Humane Society.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants, even after they commit crimes in America. Hotel rooms for illegal immigrants while our vets sleep on the street. Sex changes for illegal immigrants out of my pocket. Seriously, have these people lost their mind? Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
I just want to make
with special guest, The Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Brian Stiles says he's proud of his extreme record. Extremists want to gut Social Security and Medicare, cut benefits for seniors, and raise the retirement age. Stiles proud to join them. And they push to ban abortion in Wisconsin, restrict birth control, and monitor pregnancies to prosecute women. Brian Stiles proud to be backed by them. Peter Barca is proud to put Wisconsin over party.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Welcome back. Time for Potentially Yours and your pet of the week here at noon. Lisa Bernard from the Dane County Humane Society is here, and we kind of have our hands full today.
We do. They are quite active kittens
They
here.
are, yeah. It's been funny watching you chase them around the couch the last 30 minutes as we've been waiting to go on the air. Who do we have here?
So this right here is Snuggles.
Okay.
And behind him is his sister Melon, who's decided, oh, cords are fun, and they're not. But they were just wrestling. It was like WWE on my lap for a few seconds.
And yeah, they've been like wanting to hop on the table, hop on the back of the couch, a little bit of everything. So definitely in kitten mode.
Yes, and very curious. They're so cute. They were a litter of 4 who came to us from Sun Prairie. They were found there. And they came last month, put in foster care because they were still too small to be adopted. They're about 2 months old now. And they're ready. They're ready to find their new homes. One of their brothers already found a home, and there's 3 left. Melon and her 2 brothers. Rocky is still at the shelter waiting, and they're just having a blast.
Oh, they are.
Oh, let me play with you.
They're a bundle of fun.
Licking fingers. Occasional nibbles, which they let go right away, which is good because we don't want them.
Which, like, a lot of kitties are like that, right?
Yeah, and we don't want them getting used to hands as toys. And oh, look at you. Oh, you're
Liking
so
that
cute.
Microphone. So what kind of family do you think would suit them well?
I think any type of family who just wants the love of a kitten and watch them grow and help them grow, because they're going to get into quite a bit in the beginning.
Yeah. And I can say even the few minutes that you guys have been here, they've been very, very active.
I think my Fitbit just said I hit 1,000 steps.
I can see that.
So, but they're so much fun, and it's just so cute to watch them grow and see how their personality develops, and they're going to make any sort of family happy. So.
Oh, I love that. Well, Lisa, thank you so much. Let's find them a home.
Yes.
You can go to dchs.org if you'd like to check them out today. There's the information up on the screen. Positive update, Perla, the dog from last week, was also adopted by our own Will Keneally here at Channel 3. So that's the 3rd employee here at Channel 3 that's actually gotten one of our pets from this segment.
I didn't cast any spells, I promise.
I know. Here's Kelly with a final check of your forecast.
Josh, you're next, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we got some winds out there, but a lot of sunshine. Is going to be a breezy day, a little bit warmer than it's been. These winds up out of the south at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We continue to climb 69 tomorrow. We're in the 70s this weekend. Lots of sunshine. Cold front brings us a chance of showers and a little bit cooler by Wednesday and Thursday.
Thank you, Kelly. Have a great afternoon, everyone.